Good afternoon. Hope you're having a great week. It is Wednesday, April 9th, 1:58 p.m. Central Daylight Time, local time here in Chillicothe, Texas. I just drove through Chillicothe. I think it was Chillicothe that I just drove through. I'm on Highway 287, westbound, making my way from Dallas to Redding, California, Northern California. Right now, my destination is Memphis, Texas. A Love's truck stop in Memphis, Texas. I need to put the truck in the, not the truck, but the trailer in the shop. I did a drop and hook in Terrell, Texas, and like always, there's issues with the trailer. Like every time I do a drop and hook, I get some jacked up trailer. And I've been trying to make a driving video, but it keeps getting interrupted. This truck in front of me, I'm having to keep an eye on them. I've had a lot of drama with this truck. It's some young guy, and it's one of those small no-name carriers, and it's got some old used night trailer where you can still kind of read night alongside of it. And he's swerving all over the road, and he's not maintaining speed. He's passed me three times. Like, I have my cruise set at 65, and I flew by him the first time. He was doing about 60, and I didn't even bother to speed up to pass him faster. Normally when I pass people, I'll speed up to like 70 to go around them faster. I just stayed on my cruise of 65 because he was going so slow. As soon as I made it around him, he hopped out in the left lane and flew by me going 70. As soon as he got in front of me, he slowed back down. And within a mile or two, he just dropped all the way down to 55 miles per hour. And I tried to get out in the left lane to go around him when he dropped speed, but there was somebody, he just went way off onto the right shoulder. Sorry, I'm having to hyper focus on him. Whenever there's a dumbass around me, now he's out in the left lane. Now he's jerked it back over into the right, back into his lane. Now he's drifted back into the left lane. Whenever there's a dumbass like this around me, I have to hyper focus on them. They're really dangerous. But yeah, he just kept passing me and going slow in front of me. And then every time I would pass him, he would speed back up to 70 and pass me. I have no idea what's wrong with this person. But they're swerving all over the road. They're not maintaining speed. And it's just really frustrating to be around somebody like this on the road. I've got 66 miles until I get to the Love's in Memphis, Texas. Please take the rest area exit. There's the brake lights. Yes! Yes! Oh my goodness, this is awesome. Now I'm not going to have to deal with this person anymore. They took that rest area at the last second. Like at the last second, they just slammed on their brakes and threw on their signal. That is so nice. Usually, you get stuck with somebody like that for like hours. You could be dealing with somebody like that for hours. So we should be good to go now. So why am I putting the trailer in the shop? Well, I talked about it in my last video, what was wrong with the trailer. Number one, ABS light is out. Looks like the left lane. Is that on the service road or is that on the highway? The left lane is closed. That's on the highway. All right, there's nobody behind. Oh, there's a pickup passing me. Now I can't see any other vehicles behind me. So I shouldn't have anybody else trying to race around me before the lane closes. All right, we got a flagger. So let's go ahead and turn off the cruise control. Slow down. He's got the slow sign up. All right, we're down to 50 miles per hour. We're cruising through at 50. Looks like they're doing something with power lines. All right, turning the cruise back on. Cruise is at 65. So the ABS light is out, but I don't think the ABS system is broken. I think the ABS system is working normally. I think it's just the light that is out. Why do I say that? Because I have a dashboard indicator for the trailer ABS. And whenever I initially hooked up to the trailer, I was getting an indicator from the trailer that the ABS was faulty, which is normal for a trailer that's been parked for a long time. It's normal to have an ABS fault. But once you start rolling, once the tires start spinning, that fault should go away. So as soon as I moved the trailer a couple of feet, the light went out on the dash. So I'm pretty sure the ABS system is functional, but the ABS light is out. It does not work. And that's a really simple fix to just replace that light. It's something that I used to do all the time. I haven't done it at Landstar, I don't think, but when I was at USA Truck, I replaced lights on the trailers all the time. I talked with USA Truck about it. I talked with their maintenance department, and I talked with the driver managers. I tried to get them to compensate me for the cost of the lights at a minimum, and I asked them if they would be willing to pay me to replace the lights. And they told me no, they would not reimburse me, they won't pay me, and they didn't want me to do it. They wanted a mechanic to do it. But it was just too common, and I wasted too much time at the shop. To sit in the shop for like 8 hours to get a marker light replaced is absolutely absurd. I can replace a marker light in 5 or 10 minutes. For me to waste 8 hours of my life unpaid to get a marker light replaced, it really pissed me off, because there were so many issues with the trailers at USA Truck. I was replacing lights on pretty much every single trailer. So if that's all the issue was with the trailer, if there were no flat tires or anything like that I needed to put it in the shop for, then I would just replace the marker lights, the ABS lights and stuff like that, and just roll. And, I just ate the cost of the lights. I still have spare ABS lights and spare marker lights. I could replace this ABS light if I wanted to, but I don't tend to do it at Landstar because it's not nearly as bad as it was at USA Truck. So that's issue number one, is the ABS light is out. And then issue number two might not be an issue, because from what I've read, it's possible that this trailer could be configured to operate this way. So what the trailer is doing is, whenever I set the trailer brakes, so for people who are not truck drivers, or people who are truck drivers that don't know what they're doing, whenever you set the trailer brakes, what you're doing is you're stopping the supply of air to the trailer. Whenever you supply air to the trailer, it releases the spring brakes, the emergency brakes. The air will push the emergency brakes the spring brakes free whenever you supply air to the trailer. So whenever you're setting the trailer brakes, you're stopping the flow of air to the trailer, and that causes the springs to clamp down. So the spring brakes or emergency brakes will clamp down. So what's happening whenever I stop the supply of air to the trailer by setting the trailer brakes is that there is something, I'm guessing that it's some type of air valve that is completely dumping the entire air system. Is that a Love's? What town are we in? This is not Memphis. That's not the Memphis Love's. I didn't know that there was a Love's right here. What town are we in? I'm still 58 miles from the Love's in Memphis. This looks really close. It's got a Sonic as well. Is this the Memphis Love's? Let me grab the left lane. Did I put in the wrong destination? No. This is a different Love's. Okay. That was freaking me out. That Love's does not look like it has a shop. All right, we're good. We're good. I was really confused right there. I was thinking maybe I put the wrong destination. So this was Quanah, Quanah, city limit, population 2,641. Quanah? I don't know how they pronounce it. But I did not see a shop there. But that looked eerily similar to the Love's in Memphis. It has a Sonic. It's on the left side just like that. It's on the, like eerily similar. So anyway, what the trailer's doing is it is completely evacuating the air system. And this is an air ride trailer. So a normal like leaf spring trailer, the air system just provides air to the brake system. An air ride trailer has an air tank in the trailer. And it airs up the air suspension. It has airbags. So there's a lot of air that is held inside the trailer. So for the trailer to evacuate the entire air system, it's releasing a lot of air. It's really loud. And it takes it about 30 seconds to a minute to completely evacuate the system. But as soon as I set the brakes, it just dumps all the air. And that means that my suspension drops to where the trailer is only like a couple of inches above the tires. And my trailer is angled downward. The front of the trailer is higher than the back of the trailer whenever the suspension dumps. All right, right lane closed ahead. There's nobody behind me for about a mile. Plenty of room to move over. Shouldn't be anybody racing to pass me the last minute. So from what I've read, there are dump valves on trailers that can be automatic or manual dump valves. So this trailer might potentially have an automatic dump valve. I don't think that's normal for a van. From what I've read, those things are typically on like flatbeds that have extra axles or trailers that have extra axles. They'll have dump valves for like spare axles and stuff like that. So they'll raise off the ground when not needed so that you get better fuel mileage. I did about 10 minutes of research, so I could be wrong on this. But I did find that automatic dump valves do exist, and there are also manual dump valves. And I found some posts of people saying that like every trailer in their fleet does this. These were old posts from like 10 years ago or more. I can't remember the exact time, but these were old like forum posts of people talking about this issue and saying that all of the trailers in their fleet do it. And companies like Landstar that have lots and lots of trailers, they order these trailers in batches. So there might just be 20 or 50 trailers at Landstar that were ordered in a batch that have this configuration, and they have automatic dump valves. That's a possibility. But I'm going to have the mechanic take a look at it anyway. And even if it is working as intended, it does have like an automatic dump valve. I am going to see if Landstar will approve swapping out that dump valve for either a manual or just completely getting rid of the damn dump valve. Because I think it's dangerous and it's a major nuisance to have that dumping all the air every time you set the trailer brakes. To just go over a few things on why it's dangerous and a nuisance. As far as dangerous goes, if I have an air leak that occurs while I'm driving down the road, and I have an automatic dump valve, if the pressure drops on the air system, that automatic dump valve could kick in and just dump the air and make an issue into a much bigger issue. It could make what would normally be like a moderate issue into a potentially catastrophic issue. Because if it just dumps the air, then it could evacuate the air system throughout the entire truck and trailer. And instead of me being able to, slowly move onto the shoulder and safely stop, it could cause the emergency brakes to engage, and it's going to also cause me to lose my suspension in the trailer, which whenever those airbags are dropped, the trailer becomes much more unstable. You're basically losing your suspension in the trailer, and it has 6 to 8 inches of free float where it can bounce up and down 6 to 8 inches, and it can, shift left to right. So imagine like the left side bounces up, and it can lift up off of the suspension by 6 to 8 inches on one side. That means that the trailer could have 6 to 8 inches. I don't know how many degrees of lean that could be, but like the trailer bouncing around like that could cause me to flip or roll or, the trailer, the truck. It's extremely dangerous, in my opinion. And as far as being a nuisance, I'm going to have issues with the trailer aligning to docks. There's a lot of issues with getting the trailer to align to docks. There are docks out there where you have to slide your tandems to the rear. There are docks where you have to slide your tandems all the way forward. There's all kinds of different kinds of docks, and one of the things that we have to deal with in truck, I got a van on the shoulder up here. 4-ways are on. Oh, they just made a right-hand turn. Like just an example of one of the issues that I would run into are high docks. There are docks that where you have to slide your tandems all the way to the rear, and then they will have ramps placed on the concrete that your tires roll up onto to get the back of your trailer up high enough. If my suspension is deflated, then my trailer is going to be about 6 to 8 inches lower than it should be. So I'm not going to be high enough for those high docks. They're going to have issues going in and out of my trailer with a forklift. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to not set the trailer brakes to keep the suspension aired up, which is not safe whenever you're getting loaded, to not have your brakes set. Because a forklift going in and out of there can cause you to slide if your brakes aren't set on your trailer. And that makes it really dangerous for me in the truck. It makes it dangerous for the equipment, and it makes it really dangerous for the forklift operator. And a lot of these places make you disconnect your air lines when you're getting loaded or unloaded. So that's not even an option at a lot of these places. So I could run into a lot of issues with getting loaded and unloaded in this trailer with how it's dumping the air system, with it not aligning to docks. So, yeah, if I can't get it fixed or changed, if it's not broken, if it's just, this is the way it's configured, if I can't get it changed or fixed, then I'm going to try to get rid of the trailer. I'm going to try to find a drop and hook load and get rid of this trailer, because it's just going to be too much drama with this trailer. Having to sit for like 15 minutes, letting the system air up every time I set the trailer brakes is also a nuisance. But it's not leaking air. I've tested with the brakes, and just driving down the road, I'm not losing any air. So it's not leaking air anywhere. It's just some kind of dump valve is my best guess. I'm not a mechanic, so there could be something else that I am unaware of. But my best guess is that this trailer has an automatic dump valve. And it's probably just some stupid configuration that there's like 20 Landstar trailers that have this dumb configuration. Because I've hauled a lot of trailers and I have never experienced this issue. I really appreciate people like that in our industry. People who have really nice equipment, really well maintained, really pretty, and they don't do stupid crap out on the road. They're really good for the trucker image. Me, I don't wash my truck. I have accident damage that I never got fixed. So I'm not a really good representative of the industry. I do drive quite safe, I think, at least. But as far as the appearance of my truck, not that amazing. "45 miles until we get to the Loves." Yeah, last night I was hoping I could drive all the way to Memphis. I was an hour and a half. I was about an hour and a half short of drive time to be able to make it to Memphis. And I was like, well, I can make it to Vernon. And there was a Love's shop in Vernon, but Vernon was going to be pushing it. Like, it was going to be like real close to make it to Vernon. And the only other Love's shop that I could find was Rome. And Rome is only like 25 miles outside of Fort Worth. I was like, man, I really want to get further away from Dallas, Fort Worth than Rome. But I was like, I need to get the trailer fixed. So I went into Rome, and the shop was closed. Like, all of these Love's shops on 287 are open from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. And the Love's at Rome was absolutely overrun with people. I did not think it through. Most of the truck stops along 287, there's plenty of parking. There's tons and tons of truck stops along 287. And I wasn't thinking there was going to be an issue finding a parking spot. But I forgot that Rome is really close to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So there's going to be a lot of people stopping at Rome waiting for delivery appointments in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's just too close to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So it was absolutely overrun. There were people parked everywhere. You almost couldn't get in and out of the place because people were just parked in the middle of the damn road. People were camped out at the fuel island. You couldn't drive around the fuel island because people were parked in the road to go around the fuel island. And you couldn't go through the fuel island because people were camped out at the fuel island. I had to drive over the ramp for the scale to get in and out of the parking area. It was one of those scales that has like a concrete ramp to go up to the scale and then down to the scale. So there was a curb, and I had to drive up and over that to get in and out of the parking lot because people were parked in the roadway. And I went ahead and left there and drove on down, and I found a QT truck stop that had, I don't know, I would guess about 15 truck parking spots, and they had 2 spots open whenever I got there. That's where I parked last night and took my 10. I started driving today. Let's see, I've been driving for almost 3 hours. I have 5 hours and 13 minutes of drive time left, and it's an 8-hour clock. So I've been driving for 2 hours and 47 minutes. Second, somebody's passing me. This guy's passing good. Oh, he's got a whole bunch of IFTA stickers. They maintained their lane through the whole pass. They were hugging the left side of the lane throughout the whole pass, and they maintained their spot in the lane the whole pass. That was a good pass. Good distance in front of me that they came over. Man, that was nice. Wish everybody was like that. You got another truck past me right now. It's not going by me nearly as fast. It's going somewhere around like 3, maybe 5 miles an hour faster than me. Got Estes up here on the right side. Looks like, what are they doing? Are they going over to the other side, or are they pulling into our lane? They're pulling in front of us. Oh, damn. The truck in front of me is going to probably grab the left lane, and I'm probably going to need to grab the left lane in a second, because it's going to take Estes a while to get up to speed. I'm really surprised that truck in front of me has not grabbed the left lane yet. There they go. And now this truck just popped over in front of me, and now I can't see shit. So now I'm just depending on the truck in front of me to move over early enough if we need to move over for Estes, because I can't see around them. 39 miles to Memphis according to that sign, and Google says 39 miles. There are police reported ahead, says Google. I cannot see the right shoulder, so I'm trying to see if the cops got somebody pulled over, but I can't see very far ahead with the truck in front of me. This is the reason I don't like somebody. Wow, this truck in front of me is just went way off on the right side of the road. This is the reason I don't like to have anybody in front of me that's close to me. I don't like having anybody within a mile of me. It severely reduces my visibility to have a truck in front of me. Even at the distance that this truck's at, I can't see the shoulder past that truck. And this guy is swerving all over the road. He keeps dipping onto the shoulder and then pulling it back into the lane. I didn't even notice a cop. I was too focused on that truck in front of me and the shoulder. Anyway, what were we talking about? Yeah, I couldn't park at Rome, stopped the QT, took the 10-hour break, got rolling today. Be about 11:45, I would guess, somewhere around that area. 11:45 a.m., noon, somewhere in that ballpark. It's 2:31 right now, and I've been driving for 2 hours and 51 minutes. So about 11:40. Is when I started driving. And I can't remember the total mileage. It's a little over 200 miles, I think. Like 214 miles or something like that. From the QT in Decatur, Texas to the Loves in Memphis, Texas. 36 miles to go. Hopefully, we're able to get these issues resolved fairly quick, because I picked up the load a day and a half early, but because of all of the drama with the trailer, that day and a half could easily disappear. But even without that day and a half, I still have plenty of time to get the trailer delivered. It doesn't deliver until Monday. Yeah, California with the 55 mile per hour speed limit, I'm going to be doing a lot of miles. I'm basically driving the entire length of California. I don't know how many miles it is, but I would guess that I'm going to be doing somewhere in the ballpark of 600 miles across California. And at 55 miles per hour, that's going to be like a drive shift and a half. Normally, that would be like 3/4 of a drive shift, or more than 3/4. It would be close to a full drive shift. But going 55 across California, that's going to be like 1.5 drive shifts. But I should still have plenty of time to get there as long as I don't have any major delays. I should get there like a day early, maybe 2 days early. It just depends on the drama I'm going to have to deal with on the trailer. Let me think here. 2,000 miles. you can drive approximately, what is it, 14 hours in a day. So 12 hours plus a 10-hour break is 22 hours. Plus 2 more hours. So you can drive about 13 hours in a day, approximately. And 60 mile per hour average. 780 miles in a day. Is that right? 60 times 13. 780 miles in a day. So let's say 750 for easier math. So 750, 2 days would be 1,500 miles. Three days, 2,250. But with California speed limit, welcome to Childress. So it's going to take approximately 3 full days to get there. Speed limit dropping to 55 up ahead. Going to be driving through some, I see a stoplight. 57, 56. Speed limit's going to continue dropping. There's a 50 sign. Now we're going down to 40, doing 43 right now. So yeah, 3 full days, and today is Wednesday. Thursday, Friday. I should be able to get there by like Friday without any major delays, because I've already done like 200 miles on the trip yesterday or last night. And then I've got the drive shift now. I'm putting another... No, I did not put 200 miles on last night. I put about 150 on. And then driving to Memphis, I'm putting about another 200 miles on. So that's 350. Yeah, maybe I'll get there Saturday. Maybe I'm not going to have as much time as I'm not going to get there quite as early as I thought. Maybe the schedule is tighter than I estimated. But I should still be getting there like Saturday. And I'll probably get there early enough to do a 34 before the delivery. Speed limit's 35. Traffic's moving really slow. I'm doing 28, and I'm still catching up with the vehicles in front of me. Green light, green light, green light, green light, green light. I'm running it if it turns yellow. Still green, yellow. We made it. Speed limit bumped up to 40. Traffic's still moving slow though. I'm doing 31, 32. I'm speeding up. I don't know why all the trucks are in the left lane. That hot shot just topped over in the left lane with them. That hot shot was, I think, what was slowing down this right lane. We're doing 35, speed limit's 40. Light just turned green up ahead. Sorry that I'm doing the play-by-play, but driving through a small town like this, where all these side streets and businesses and traffic coming in and out of everywhere, and the lights, there's just so much stuff for me to be watching. There's somebody just backing up almost into the roadway. Green, 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 green. We made it. All right, light up ahead is red. This hot shot is just decided that they want to get in my lane. What are you doing? This person just threw on their right turn signal and started moving to get in front of me. I don't know what in the hell. Now they don't want to get in the right lane. I slowed down to 25 miles an hour to let them over. Now they're making a left-hand turn. Right lane closed, and I've got four-wheelers along my left. All right, one of the four-wheelers just hopped in the left turn lane. Now this one's hopping in the left turn lane. Now I'm clear to move over. All right, now we got some single lane construction. And I got the bypass for the way station, but it appears the way station is closed because of construction anyway. And Texas way stations are just never open. I don't think I've ever gone through a Texas way station that's open. Well, hopefully they widen this out and make it real nice. You know, I used to think, man, future generations are going to have it so nice with all this road construction that they're doing, but it's never ending. There are brand new roads in Oklahoma, roads that they just finished construction on within the last year or two that need to be redone already. They are just lumpy, bumpy, just, they're already got a whole bunch of patches in them. I remember back in the 90s, I knew someone that worked for the Department of Transportation doing something with building roads in Oklahoma. And they came from California. They had been like a road DOT person building roads in California, and then they relocated to Oklahoma, and they got the same job in Oklahoma. And I remember them saying that they couldn't believe how Oklahoma built roads. They said over in California, whenever they build roads, they I can't remember all the details. This is like 30 years ago. But they like dig, you know, the dirt out, and get down to a solid foundation, and then they fill it up with all kinds of stuff, and then they do like it's a really thick, durable road with a solid foundation, and it's really thick pavement or concrete or whatever. And they were saying that the way that they do it in Oklahoma, they just put a really thin. All right, I was waiting to see if this person was going to go, like how fast they were going to go. All right, there's somebody on the shoulder about a mile up. So I'm going to go ahead and accelerate and hurry up and complete this pass so that this person has plenty of time to move over. It looks like a cop's got somebody pulled over a mile or so up. So I'm going to get around this person really quick so they can get over for the cop. I don't know why people up in front of me are not moving over for that cop. All right, now this jackass, I sped up to 75 to get around them faster, and now they've sped up to 75. They just put on their turn signal. They're making a right turn somewhere. Estes. Is that the Estes that pulled out not long ago? Oh, and there's another cop's got somebody else pulled over. This must be their little blitz area or something. I heard there was a Landstar notice or something about a blitz happening in April, I think. I don't remember. I just remember skimming the headline or something like that. Oh man, that's a construction end work zone. So those are going to be some big tickets if those two people, it was two LTL drivers. There was an Estes and, oh crap, I can't remember what the second one was. Was it Old Dominion? I can't remember. There's no way they were speeding. They might just be random inspections. I heard that because Texas never has their weigh stations open, they just do random roadside inspections. They'll bust out their portable scales and all that stuff. So those might have just been random inspections. All right, I do not know what's going on with the oversized load that I passed and that sped up to 75 while I was passing them. They turn their right turn signal on a second time. They're driving down the road with their right turn signal on again. But they've slowed back down. I am about 3/4 of a mile in front of them at the moment, with the cruise back at 65. "21 miles away." So if I getting the ABS light replaced should be a non-issue. This shop should be able to do that easily. But the valve problem, that is most likely going to be a specialty part at a trailer shop. What I might do, if that is the case, is I might just drive on at least to Amarillo, because I'm sure that they're going to have to drive all the way to Amarillo to get the part. I'm not sure where the closest trailer shop is at from Memphis. Maybe there is a specialty shop in Memphis, but Memphis isn't too terribly far from Amarillo. I'm guessing Amarillo is where they would have to go to get that part. And it's so late in the day that they're probably not going to have time to get the part. I don't know, if they get me in like real fast and they diagnose it real quick and they send somebody to get the part real quick. If I remember correctly, last time I was here, we had this conversation about getting parts, and they told me that there's a service that they pay where somebody will, they don't actually send one of their own employees to get the part. They pay a service that gets the part for them. So that service person, the service that they're paying for that's picking up the part, they may already be in Amarillo. They may not have to drive from Memphis to Amarillo. So they may be able to get the part before the place closes. Got some big agricultural equipment, some tractors driving down the highway on the other side. How do you get one of those jobs? I bet that like pretty much all of those jobs operating the massive agricultural equipment, the tractors, the farming equipment, I bet that's all family or like word of mouth hire. I don't suspect that they're putting out applications or putting out job listings for those roles. Maybe they do. I think that'd be a cool job to have. Drive around in one of those tractors all day. They're probably really comfortable inside there. Nice air conditioning and all that good stuff. It'd be kind of like mowing a lawn. Just mowing lawns all day long. At first, it would be very intimidating, just like driving one of these trucks. I got somebody on the shoulder up here. Looks like they're leaving the shoulder. Yeah, they're pulling into the roadway. Looks like a pickup, so they'll probably get up to speed pretty quick. Right lane closed ahead. But yeah, that'd probably be a sweet job. But that equipment is crazy expensive. All right, four-wheeler. There just wasn't enough room to let you around. All right, they're trying to pass me on the left. What is this idiot doing? I tried to wait to let that four-wheeler around me before it went single lane. And I moved over, and they were about 100 feet behind me when I moved over, and they jumped over in the right lane real aggressive. To try to pass me on the right. Like, what is wrong with people? Like, do they not read signs? Are they stupid? Like, what's the deal? Some old woman. But there is no like specific age or gender or color of skin for stupid. Anybody can be stupid. You can be old and stupid. You can be male or female and be stupid. You can be brown or white or gray or orange or purple and be stupid. All right, a cop just threw his lights on. Ooh, they're pulling over that are no. They're not pulling them over. They're headed somewhere else. No, they are pulling them over. That car that just tried to pass me on the right at the construction, they're getting pulled over. I think they were speeding through town. They're not stopping. Oh, now they realize the cop's pulling them over. Like, they drove quite a ways without realizing the cop was pulling them over. Now they're stopped. I think they were just speeding through town. Maybe the cop saw what they did in the construction. I don't know. Whoa, wow, that's not cool. It's an old man, not an old woman. Wait, is it a woman? It's hard to tell. No, it's an old man, and you're not supposed to do that. The old guy just got out of his vehicle. I'm guessing that they just popped him for speeding. Maybe there was another cop over there that was watching the construction, or maybe they had a camera up watching the construction. Who knows? They might have pulled him over for the little maneuver that they did trying to pass on the right in the construction. But I don't think that would have justified them getting a ticket because, like, they just went over into the right lane. They didn't actually get alongside me. They made the move to get over to the right lane to pass me on the right, but they didn't actually like accelerate up and get alongside me. So I think maybe they just weren't paying attention to the signs and they didn't realize the right lane was ending. And then when they hopped over in the right lane to pass me, they saw the signs. All right, we're going to get to race the train now. There's been a lot of cops pulling people over along 287. I think they are doing some kind of blitz. I think it was back before I started the video. There was like a truck parking area on the eastbound side. There were three like highway patrol or Department of Public Safety, whatever, highway cops in SUVs parked in there. And then there were two more within like 3 miles on the eastbound side. There were a total of 5 or 6 cops within about 3 miles on the eastbound side. And then there have been several other cops I've seen with people pulled over. Like back, just not too far back there, we saw the 2 LTL trucks that were both stopped within a mile of each other. So yeah, I think there's some kind of blitz going on, because I do recall some notice from Landstar about a blitz happening in April. We've only got 10 miles to go. And I think the Loves in Memphis is kind of like in the middle of town. So we should be hitting the edge of Memphis probably within about 5 to 7 miles. And now I have a decision to make. Do I park in a parking spot and walk over to the shop? Or do I just like pull up next to the shop and get out? And, you know, it's pretty easy to park in a parking spot there. So what I'll probably do, oh, here comes that trike again. This is the third time this trike has passed me. They must keep stopping to use the restroom or something. See, I'll probably just park in a normal spot and then go in there and check in with them. And what I'll probably end up doing if they're able to get me in and out of there in a decent amount of time is I'll just do a sleeper split. It'll probably take them at least 2 hours to work on the truck. So I'll just go into the sleeper that whole time. And that'll help me save my 14-hour clock. I'm not too worried about driving through Amarillo. I shouldn't make it to Amarillo until probably at least, even if they're really quick about getting me in and out, I probably won't make it to Amarillo until at least 7 or 8 p.m. So that'll be a reasonable time to go through Amarillo. Traffic shouldn't be too terribly bad. Like even during rush hour, Amarillo traffic isn't that bad. And the other major, just a second here, this SUV is coming across the road. The other major city that's next on the list would be Albuquerque. And I don't think I can make it as far as Albuquerque. I'm pretty sure I can't make it that far in this drive shift. So I'm going to have to most likely stop short somewhere before Albuquerque. I don't know. I'll have to look at it. I haven't trip planned beyond Memphis. Albuquerque traffic shouldn't be too bad, but it is a pretty big city. I do not want to drive through there during rush hour. Amarillo, I'm not too concerned about driving through Amarillo during rush hour. Traffic does get pretty bad during rush hour in Amarillo, but it usually doesn't get like gridlock. It'll just get thick. 6.4 miles to the Loves. Yeah, I'm not worried about the ABS light. I'm just stressing out about this dump valve on the trailer. I'm really not wanting to deal with the drama of this damn dump valve. Maybe it'll be something really easy where it's a manual dump valve and they just flip it over. They flip it off or whatever. Or maybe it's just like something not tightened down on a valve. Maybe it's something really easy. Or maybe it is just a bad air valve. But one of the things that's a little concerning is that the trailer, not only does it have air ride, so it has an air suspension, but it also has a automated tire inflation system. So it could be some component on the tire inflation system, or it could be some component on the air suspension. And if it's something with the auto air system for the tires, that could become a pain in the butt to get fixed. I got underneath the trailer to try to figure out where the air is coming from. It's kind of hard to do because it only lasts for like 30 to 60 seconds. So I have to release the brakes on the trailer, then hop out of the truck and run back there and crawl underneath the trailer. And by the time I get underneath the trailer, like 15 seconds has already elapsed. So I only have like 15 to 45 seconds to try to find where the air is coming out. And I was not able to locate it. I got underneath the trailer I got underneath the trailer like twice to an update is scheduled to begin soon. The update will take 5 to 10 minutes. Delay by 1 hour. Hit delay update. Let's do update now. 5 to 10 minutes should be enough time for me to get parked. All right, nothing changed on the screen. The only thing I'm really concerned with is being able to change my status. I want to be able to move off of the drive line onto sleeper berth whenever I get there. 2.6 miles. I was expecting to be in Memphis by now. We're only 2.6 miles away from the truck stop. Memphis is a lot smaller than I thought. So yeah, that was the ELD that popped up with a message about needing to do a software update. You know, I haven't really noticed hardly any software updates with this OmniTrax. OmniTrax is Qualcomm, isn't it? I think it is. I think OmniTrax is Qualcomm. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the cruise off and just let it coast down because we should be hitting the edge of town. Speed limit should be dropping any minute. All right, there's a sign saying that it's dropping from 75 to 70. And I see another sign that is dropping down to like, I think 50 up ahead. No, 60. We're already doing 60. All right, please wait, upgrading software. With USA Truck, the app that they used, it was on like a tablet. All right, we're doing 50 and the speed limit's 60, but I think there's a sign that says the speed limit's 50. We're doing 49. We're gonna go ahead and get over in the left lane because I have a left lane turn in a quarter of a mile. But yeah, software updates and software issues and server connectivity problems. What in the hell? Google is trying to get me to turn right there on Davis Street. It wanted me to turn on that road right there.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto 4th Street. In a quarter mile, turn left onto Noel Street.
All right, still doing a software update. Damn it. The light just turned green and that car just took off from the light. I thought I had an easy turn in here. Man, there are a lot of trucks parked here. This place is usually pretty empty. I mean, there's still several spots. There's a lot of spots, but this place is... All right, they have 2 trucks in the repair lane. So they're not going to be able to get me in right now. So yeah, definitely need to be parking in a spot. And we have people just parked in the middle of the road. These two trucks over here to my right, those are not parking spots. That's basically the middle of the road. These are all pretty much straight back parking spots. But with these people parked here like that, they're not straight back parking spots. I'm going to park right over here. I think I'm going to grab the spot next to that box truck. Oh man, look like I know what I'm doing. Lined up perfect. Well, maybe this box truck was a bad idea. They are parked really close to the lane that I'm backing into. They're going to be parked right next to me. So basically I'm just going to park, and then I'm going to go into the shop. I'm going to write down some information first on a notepad, and then I'm going to go into the shop and see if we can't get into a bay. Oh wow, this guy is still living in that trailer back here at the back of the parking lot. I don't know if you saw it when I pulled in here, but over to my left at the back of the parking lot, that guy has been living there for I don't know how long. And is this the guy in the box truck? Nope. Trekker. Let's see, what's the trailer number? 6. All right, that should be all the information I need. Software upgrade is still happening. I kind of want to wait for the software upgrade to stop so that I can go into sleeper berth as soon as possible. It said that it would take 5 to 10 minutes. Not sure exactly how long it's been so far. But what I think I'll do is I'll pause the video. I'll go in, talk with them, and see what they have to say, and then I'll come let you know like what the situation is. So I'll pause this. I'll be back in a minute. All right. So software update finished. I was just able to switch over to sleeper berth. I went in there, got checked in. They told me it'd be about an hour and a half to 2 hours before they'd be able to get to me. And they did not understand what I was saying about the air system. They were saying, yeah, that sounds like a brake chamber. It's not a brake chamber. I didn't want to sit there and argue with them. I'll explain it to them again whenever I actually get into a bay. I will talk to the mechanic and explain it to the mechanic when I get into the bay. But I was telling them that it's whenever I set the parking brakes. But what they heard in their head was whenever I hit the brakes, all of the air is dumping out. That's not what's happening. It's not a brake chamber. Yes, if whenever I hit the brakes, all of the air is dumping out, that's a brake chamber. But setting the parking brakes and all the air dumps out, that's not a brake chamber. But there were like 3 mechanics in there, and they all had different opinions about what it could possibly be, and I didn't want to sit there and have a debate about it. So I'll just wait till they pull me in, and I'll explain it to them, and then I'll show them what's happening. It's going to be pointless to like get into detail about it right now. I am hungry, and I'm trying to think about what to eat. I could go over to Sonic. If I remember correctly, the Sonic here has like normal prices. They don't have inflated truck stop prices. A lot of these restaurants, they'll charge like 1.5 to 2 times what normal you could go into like a Taco Bell at a truck stop, and the menu prices will be like 1.5 to 2 times what a normal Taco Bell outside of a truck stop will be. But some of the places have normal pricing. But even the normal pricing on these restaurants has gotten crazy lately. So maybe I might go over there and grab some Sonic. The problem with the food that I have in the truck is that it all requires to be heated, and it takes like 2 to 3 hours. Roughly 2 hours to heat it up from frozen to hot. But maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just heat something up. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I don't feel like going over to Sonic. But yeah, I think I'll wrap up the video here. And I'm not hopeful about the air system issue, because they had no idea what I was talking about. Maybe I should have worded it differently. I told them whenever I set the trailer brakes, it just dumps the entire air system. Like all of the air from the air suspension just dumps out whenever I set the trailer brakes. And they said, yeah, that's a brake chamber. That is not a brake chamber, because you're not using the brake chambers whenever you do that. The brake chambers are used whenever you press the brake pedal. It's a different braking system. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I don't like mechanics. It's one of those jobs where you can be really bad at your job and still be quite successful. The vast majority of mechanics that I've interacted with have been horrible. And the service manager that's in there right now is the one that I dealt with on the ABS issue, my one negative experience I've ever had here. And the guy that took down my information was the mechanic with that negative ABS issue. He's the one that lied about the diagnostic, and I had to set for 2 days because he wanted to go home early. He ended up going home 30, 45 minutes before they closed. But anyway, I'm going to put some food on my warming tray, snack on some chips, and see if there are any loads. I haven't gotten any load alerts. And, just check through things. So hope you're having a great week. And more videos to come as we continue the journey. Bye.